record. I am Gowri Shankar. I am from Department of CSE. I am now going to handle about exception handling in Python. Before going to exception handling, we need to know about what is meant by error and what is meant by exception. In other programming languages like C++ and Java, there is runtime error and compile time error. Compile time error occurs during compile time. Runtime errors occur during the execution of a program. But in Python, there is no compile time. There is only a runtime environment because we are using interpreter in Python. So everything exception and error both are occur in runtime only. Before going to see about exception, we need to know about Python interpreter. Python interpreter is a runtime environment. It generates error and exception both in runtime only. Exception is nothing but it is an runtime anomalies. It generates an unexpected output or behaves abnormally. This occur when there are syntax errors, runtime errors, or logical errors in the code. In Python, exceptions are errors that get triggered automatically. Exceptions in Python, exception may be syntax error, a logical error, a parsing error. There are common standard exceptions available in Python. The common standard exceptions available in Python are that is built-in exception, usually defined in compiler or interpreter. These are called built-in exception. Python standard library is an extensive collection of built-in exception that deals with commonly occurring errors by providing standardized solution for such errors. The standard exceptions or built-in exception in Python are listed as syntax error, value error, IO error. Syntax error is raised when there is an error in the syntax of the Python code. Value error is raised when a built-in method or operation receives an argument that has right data type but mismatched inappropriate values. For example, integer variable can hold only integer variable. If we pass float numbers, it may raised as a value error. Another error is IO error. It is raised when the file specified in the program statement cannot be opened. A next standard exception is a keyboard interrupt. It is raised when a user accidentally hits or declare or hits the delete or escape key while executing a program, due to which the normal flow of program is interrupted. It is raised when the requested module import error. It is raised when the requested module definition is not found. Next exception is the end of file error. It is raised when the end of file condition is reached without reading any data by input. The another one common error exception is a zero division error. It is raised when the denominator in the division operation is 0. Another one exception is a name error. It is raised when the local or global variable name is not defined. Another one common exception is a type error. It is raised when an operator is supplied with a value of incorrect data type. Exception is handled by three keywords. First keyword is try block. Another one is except block. We have to raise an exception by using its exception name. The exception name may be a standard exception or a built-in exception, or it may be a user-defined exception. The error detected may be a built-in exception or user-defined one. We have to raise an exception in try block. In next block, we have to we have to handle an exception by using except block. Except block will handle the exception raised by the try block. In this program, we have to declare a list of numbers. Length is assigned as 10. If length greater than length of numbers, we have to raise an index error. Otherwise, it will print the length of the array. Here we got the output as index error exception. Next we have to handle exception by using except block. Python categorizes exception into a distinct types that specific exception handlers can be created for each type. Exception handlers separate the main logic of the program from the error detection and correction code. The compiler or interpreter keeps track of the exact position where the error has occurred. Exception handling can be done for both user-defined and built-in exceptions. First, we have an error is encountered. The exception handling process is shown as an error is encountered in a method. Next, we have to create an exception object. We have to raise an exception in try block. Next, we have to handle exception using except block. These are the steps for handling exception. Catching exceptions may be handled by more than one except block. If you are using except block, we may have more than one exception occur in our statement. During that situation, we have to use multiple catch block statements. In Python, catch block replaces as except block. While executing the program, if an exception is encountered, further execution of code inside try block is stopped and the control is transferred to except block. The syntax of try and except clause is as follows. Next, try block syntax is followed as try keyword : next we set of statements we have to declare it. Consider this program consider this example program. And this example program is demonstrates zero division error exception. Whenever a denominator encounters 0, it will result as a division by zero division error exception. In try block, we have to raise the exception. In try block, we have to raise the exception